welcome back to another episode of The Fuzzy Pod.
Pod.
Today we are discussing another nostalgic movie for us, Holiday in the Sun, with Mary-Kate and Ashley, of course.
In our minds, this was the perfect summer movie.
It was the peak of Mary-Kate and Ashley movies in my mind. When I was asked about, Megan, what is your favorite Mary-Kate and Ashley memories, maybe favorite movies? Holiday in the Sun for me was always number one. That is until I rewatched it again as an adult.
Holiday in the Sun is about two teenage girls who are actually, it's not even a summer movie. They're on winter break.
Yes.
And they are two very wealthy girls who are so excited. They're about to get on break for winter break and they're off to Hawaii, or so they think.
And then our lead girls, played by Mary-Kate and Ashley, Madison and Alex, find out that no, they're actually not going to Hawaii. They're going to the Bahamas. To which they reply to their father, "Boo, no, Dad.
We want to go to Hawaii.
Why would you do this to us? Why do you hate us, Dad? We wanted to go to Hawaii." Then the dad replies, "Well, the Bahamas, specifically Atlantis in the Bahamas, is better than Hawaii."
And that's because it's a paid advertisement, this entire movie, to go to Atlantis in the Bahamas.
Sponsored by Atlantis in the Bahamas and Krispy Kreme?
Question mark?
Because then he proceeds to bring out a box of donuts to the girls. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, we love Krispy Kreme." Looks into the camera.
Practically.
Well, that is basically where the breakdown of this movie ends, because this movie truly has no plot. The girls get to Atlantis. There is some kind of rivalry between them and another rich girl there named Brianna, played by Megan Fox.
None other than Megan Fox.
And some different love triangles going on. It's about the girls finding their independence on vacation, finding, I was going to say summer love, but winter break love.
You know, that old winter break love.
Winter break love.
But yeah, so they are, honestly, the plot of the movie is them finding vacation boyfriends.
And then the last 15 minutes of the movie, you're not ready for this, buckle up. The last 15 minutes of the movie, they find themselves in prison.
They go to jail. And why do they go to jail? Because one of their vacation boyfriends is doing some illegal activities.
That he didn't realize.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. He was helping someone smuggle local antiquities out of the country and had no idea that he was assisting in that. So they get caught with these red-handed with these antiquities in a tacklefish box that he thought he was retrieving for one of the hotel guests. And our crew ends up in jail in a foreign country.
It turns into like a Law and Order or like, I don't know, Miami Vice. I don't know. I don't really watch those shows, but it's giving like detective cop show.
The music and everything in
the
those
editing
scenes.
in those scenes is just, it's a sight to be seen.
Then the girls end up finding a way to help their friend Jordan out of jail because
they clear his name.
Because, oh my gosh, I guess we have to at least give the name. So we have Madison and Alex, okay, you follow in, played by Mary-Kate and Ashley. We have Brianna, played by Megan Fox, who's just kind of there.
Honestly, she's not even, I thought she was more of a character in the movie.
She tries to steal unsuccessfully one of the winter break boyfriends away from Madison?
Alex.
No, Madison.
No, it's Alex.
No, Griffin is obsessed with
With
Alex.
Madison.
No, Alex. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
They're twins. It's confusing, okay? Alex is into Jordan, who works for the resort. But Brianna, played by Megan Fox, is also into Jordan.
She's also trying to get some action with Jordan.
But he's not really interested. I mean, it's Megan Fox, but he's not really interested.
Sure. You're not interested.
So Jordan and Alex go pretty strong throughout the movie. Then we have Madison, who is more in a love triangle, okay? She's
really with the drama.
She is. She's got Scott, who she just met at the resort, okay? He's also there on winter break, I believe. And then we have Griffin, who technically, her family is on vacation with Griffin's family. This is like a
They're
family
childhood friends, yeah.
Known each other for years. And Griffin has been assisting Scott in helping to woo Madison's heart.
Even though he has the biggest crush on her. But he's like, if I can't have her, I just want to make sure she's happy with whoever she's with. Honestly, Griffin is really the MVP of this story.
Yes, until later, which I'll give my thoughts on that in a second. But Griffin, are you keeping track? This is the only part of the plot really is like who's dating who.
That is the movie.
That's the movie.
Yeah.
That's all you have to keep up with. So after this, you're good.
Alex and Jordan, Madison and Scott and Griffin.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all you got.
Brianna, mean girl, kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, she's not really relevant.
So,
and then Jordan, who works for the resort, is the one who is allegedly stealing these antiquities and smuggling them.
Yes, that's what I was going to end it. So basically, they end up trying to clear Jordan's name, and they do so successfully by stealing a boat that they know have the antiquities on it because they can't get the police to search it.
And somehow they don't get in trouble for stealing the boat.
Jordan gets released, and that's the end of the movie.
There you go.
That's
You watched
Holiday
the
in the
movie. You watched the full movie. And now that we gave you the quick synopsis, this quick plot of this movie,
Plot.
Yeah, very, very loosely using the term plot. I think we're just going to go through the good, the bad, and the fuzzy.
Yes. We broke it down into 3 different categories just to lay out all of our thoughts of this movie. So let's go ahead and start off with the good.
This movie actually really does have a fire soundtrack.
Fire soundtrack.
Okay, so it starts off strong, like opening credits. It's Island in the Sun, of course, by Weezer, okay? Now, this is our second back-to-back movie rewatch where this song has been a key element of the movie, and it's the perfect vacation song, okay?
No wonder it makes us feel like summertime, is specifically like nostalgic summertime. It's because it was in every single one of our like childhood movies about
literally. That's
summer
why
or
it's
vacation.
So like this song is elite. But what was so funny about it is they played this song they probably spent the most in their budget on this song.
Yes.
Because they played it about 10 times.
Everything in the Holiday in the Sun budget went to licensing Island in the Sun, and they utilized it.
And they said, we are going
everything.
to squeeze every drop out of this.
Oh my gosh. Another iconic song is Us Against the World by Play, which they actually had a performance from the artist in the movie at one of the parties.
Which is a girl band.
Yes, so Play was a truly underrated girl group. I believe they were out of Sweden originally, but you would recognize a lot of their songs if you were to look them up. One of their most famous songs was actually made more famous here in the States by the Cheetah Girls, and that is Cinderella. You know, I don't want to be like Cinderella. Not actually the Cheetah Girls' original song. It's actually by Play, but they had
so good.
They had them in the actual movie. Which
they
was
did.
Like,
we were like, why are they performing? What's going on?
I was like, what are they doing here?
But they like pay no attention to them.
No,
it's just like they're in the background performing.
Yeah, they don't.
And they show like
announce them
couple,
or anything.
Yeah,
it's
a couple
just
shots of them. It's just they're there.
Yep.
Rich people stuff. Another song that you might recognize is One Girl Revolution by Super Chick, and we were so hyped when this song came on. You would probably recognize it from being in Cadet Kelly,
and also Legally Blonde.
So we were super hyped about that. We were like, okay, the truly only redeeming quality of this movie is the soundtrack, which, I mean, there's something to be said about that, but also it's like these songs were in a bunch of other movies, but did they do it first?
Maybe. Another good that I wrote down was the fashion. TBH, more so from the mom.
Yeah, the mom was like serving looks.
Her swimsuits were super fire.
Yeah.
She had cute little halter tops. Also, you made this note,
cute skirts.
Not really like a good or bad or fuzzy, but the parents were so tall.
Yes, the parents were way too tall. Like, to be their parents. Like, they were like, the mom was like supermodel, like height.
Yes.
So and Mary-Kate and Ashley are not.
They're probably around our height.
Particularly tall, I don't think. I mean, they looked tiny next to them, and they're like 15 or 16 in this movie.
Yeah, and you're about done growing when you're 15 or 16. Like, height-wise, at least for most females,
and they were like towering over them.
Yes.
As soon as they got hopped off their private plane and were walking into their limo, that's when I noticed it.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, when she said that these girls had wealth, limo to private plane to another limo to a suite, it was just insane. But one of the other fashion moments that was giving wealth was Mary-Kate or Ashley, not sure which one, was
One of them.
wearing a Fendi bucket hat at school.
So cute, though. It was actually so cute. But yeah, they were dripping in wealth. Because also another, I don't really know if this is a good, but it was nostalgic of like going on family vacations like as a teenager. I feel like they really did nail what it felt like whenever you went on like vacation with your family and you got like a little bit of independence.
It's a taste of independence.
Like where you felt like you were your own person and your own adult.
Because you would have your hotel key, right? And that's like
Yeah.
having a key to your own apartment and you have your access to leave and go as you please. Well, with your curfew, of course. And then like you could go to the bar and order like a little smoothie.
Little Shirley Temple.
And you know, sign for it, you know?
Good times.
So it really did feel like a grown-up moment.
We really we're scraping the bottom of the barrel for the good here, but
we were.
The cast and the location. So obviously, like Mary-Kate and Ashley, great. Megan Fox, hilarious that she's in it. She's not funny in it. It's just hilarious that she's in it. Terrible acting, honestly. She had like 3 lines, but it was absolutely horrendous. And the boys, I feel like the boys they casted for this movie, we were like, okay, these are probably like some of the better
boyfriends.
Like, boyfriends that they've had in their movies. So that was a good. And location. I mean, it doesn't get much better than a beautiful resort in the Bahamas, you know? And did this movie fully convince Megan that Atlantis was her dream vacation?
It did.
It fully did.
Mm-hmm.
It fully did.
It was my mission in life to get to Atlantis, Bahamas. And when I was in my early 20s, I got a gig with Disney, Radio Disney, to film some commercials for their cruise line and do a couple music videos on the boat. Well, here's the thing with that gig. When we finally docked in the Bahamas, specifically to go to Atlantis, everyone gets off the boat, but we had to stay on the boat because that's when it's empty to film the commercials, which was so fun. But I could almost literally see it.
She did not get to live her dream.
I didn't get to live my dream, but Maddie and my mom got to go, and they said that it was, honestly, I wasn't missing too much, which made me feel a lot better.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, you have to make it back.
Truly, I think if I was 12, it would have been the most incredible thing I've ever done in my life.
100%. But also, like, we didn't go at its peak. Like, I feel like when that movie came out was, like, its peak.
Totally.
So,
yeah,
anyways,
it was like,
takes.
I can go down a water slide where there's going to be sharks in an aquarium around me.
What?
That is at the time, that was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. And I mean, we said this already. The movie didn't really have a plot, okay? It was basically a big commercial for come to Atlantis, come to the Bahamas. And let me tell you, it worked. It was ingrained in my brain for like
capitalism really had a chokehold.
What'd you say?
To capitalism.
Yeah, literally.
Had a chokehold.
It had a chokehold. It was working.
It worked.
Really popped off today.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, the last of the good I have is the dialogue. Okay, because when they do have it in the movie, it's hilarious.
They had some really funny quips.
They did.
And you're just like, whoa. Where'd that come from?
Let's go ahead and get into some of our favorite lines. First of all, when Griffin was helping Scott try to get to, Madison's heart, he told Scott she really loves astronomy. So when Scott's trying to strike up conversation with Madison,
flirt it up.
He goes, "Do you like astronomy? What's your sign?"
And she gives him the most just disgusted, like, I'm sorry? Like, are you okay? Look.
Are you dumb?
He's so cute, though. Can we just, like, quickly talk about, well, maybe this is the bad. I don't even know. I can't even distinguish what this is. Maybe this is the fuzzy.
Okay,
I'm going to save it for my fuzzy. Okay.
Next quote.
So let me just set the scene for this one really quick. So it's kind of towards the end of the movie, or maybe halfway point is a good timestamp for this. So it's Jordan and Alex, all right? And they have been having a great time the past few days. She's been helping him work, feed the fishes, do all the things. And it's time for the big kiss. And it's romantic, it's nighttime. They're walking around the resort and they stop at, where the fishes are. And he goes, like, "You're pretty incredible. Has anyone ever told you that before?" And then she goes, "Not today." And then he goes, "Well, has anyone ever told you that I'm gonna kiss you. And then he kisses her, and it's just a little too much.
It was his delivery too. Has anyone ever told you that? Pause.
I'm gonna kiss you. He really thought he ate with that one.
Ooh. This next line was delivered by a rando to Brianna, which is Megan Fox's character. She's up at the party, okay, and she's trying to like just fight off all these boys. Some guy comes up and goes, "Hey, what's up?" And she replies, "Not my temperature."
Except for she says like this, "Not my temperature."
Not my temperature.
Her voice really was unhinged.
Listen, my name is Brianna, and my dad is the Wallace of Wallace Groups. You know, what does her dad own?
I don't even know.
Wallace Hotel Groups. And I'm filthy rich, okay?
Yeah, she is. We really know nothing about her character.
Except that she's rich, and she wants Jordan for winter break, and she gets what she wants. She's giving my super sweet 16 characters.
Except for that she doesn't get what she wants.
Except she doesn't get what she wants because
Money
this
can't
is
buy
Mary
everything.
Kate and Ashley's movie.
Exactly. Another line that I thought was just funny. It was kind of like, for why? But it's when Madison and Scott have one of their first interactions, I believe. And he goes up to her and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to go dance." And she just goes, "Good for you." And then he's like, "Do you want to join me?" And she's like, "Sure."
Good for you.
Like, good for you. And I'm like, so are you into him or are you not?
Dude, there was another line involving dancing with Megan Fox or Brianna to Jordan. So obviously we know she doesn't get Jordan. She goes up to him and is like, "Do you want to dance?" And he goes, "Yeah, with Alex." I was like, it took the breath. It took the breath away from me.
Bruh, that's so rude.
Woo!
Just be like, "Sorry, not interested."
Yeah, do you want to dance?
Yeah, I actually do. Not with you, bitch.
Literally. I was like, sir.
Sorry, you didn't have to be that rude.
Also, how old is he? They're 15.
They're 15. He has to be 18.
Right? Because he has
He's
a job
working
there.
at the resort full time.
Seemingly so, right?
Right?
Because I don't think there's a winter break job. Because how long is winter
No.
break? A week?
Yeah, and he's like, he lives there. He's like, wants to be a marine biologist.
Maybe 17? I don't know.
He's got to be 18.
Griffin's 16.
There.
we
Griffin's
heard.
16, yeah.
So he's around their age. All right, let's get into the bad. Starting with, is that man 30? No, just kidding.
Literally, our question for every single one of these movies, how old is that man? Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait, hold up. I forgot one last thing for the good. Okay, so when it comes to, I just wrote down their logic. They have a few conversations that, again, are like probably half of the dialogue of the movie. And one of those things is they spend half the movie breaking down commonly used phrases.
Yeah, like one of them will be like, "Well, you can't have your cake and eat it too." And then the other one's like, "Well, if you have your cake, you're going to eat it." Right? So then you can't have your cake and eat it too, but you can't have your cake and not eat it. And it's like, what?
Then proceed to spend 10 minutes discussing it until they land on a spot that they feel good with. And they do the same thing with the commonly used phrase, like, "You made your bed, now lie in it." They're like, "Well, maybe I don't want to lie in my bed."
And you're like, what? Why is this the dialogue?
Another thing, like, to get into the brain of Madison and Alex, like, logic, they see a guy when they get to the resort and he has pierced ears, and they're like, "You know what it means when you see a guy with pierced ears? It means they're ready for marriage because he's not afraid of pain and he already knows how to buy jewelry." I'm like, what is this 15-year-old logic? He's not afraid of pain and he already knows how to buy jewelry. I mean,
So my husband's not ready for marriage.
I guess neither one of our husbands are because they don't have pierced ears.
Dang
But ready
it.
for pain?
I
Are the
mean, they're
straights
not
okay?
wrong. No, just kidding. The last line that they say that we thought was so funny is they're like, "I mean, we're old enough to go on vacation on our own now. Like, we're almost 18. And then they're like, "In 3 years." And we're like,
Their logic. Their logic. Their 15-year-old logic is everything.
oh my gosh, it's so good.
All right, now let's officially get into the
The
bad.
bad. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, the first one, the obvious one. There's literally no plot.
This movie like, it's definitely one of those ones. I'm speechless.
I'm speechless, she says.
How can a movie have such little plot is the real question. And now I'm starting to doubt every other Mary-Kate and Ashley movie.
No, but we watched Billboard Dad recently, and
That's
that
true.
one was
That one was way better.
yes, so much
I
better.
mean, it was silly. It was definitely
Yes.
silly. But like
still heartwarming. Had a
Had a
storyline,
plot.
had a plot. This one, it was just a montage of like vacation in Atlantis at the Bahamas. It's literally just a promotional video, which makes sense why I loved it as a kid because I was like dreaming about just going there. But as an adult,
we
I
need
need
a
a plot.
We need drama. Also, like
I mean, they went to jail. There's
they
drama.
did go to jail. Sorry, there is drama, and they did think Jordan was like a drug dealer because they saw him in town, like doing like an exchange with like a
package.
like a brown paper sack.
They
and
were totally alluding at
exchanging
that.
money,
They're
and
like, what do you do, Jordan?
they were like, and he was like
Drugs?
and he was like, oh, you saw that? He was being sketchy.
I still think he was in on it.
No, he was 100% in on it.
They released a felon.
They really did. And Madison was like telling her, she's like, Alex, why do you believe him? Like, we just met him. And she goes, just trust me. He's being honest. And I'm like,
I've known him for 3 whole days. I think I
Ma'am.
know my winter break boyfriend, okay?
ma'am, he's a criminal. Honestly, we should add that to the list of bad, is that Alex is dating a criminal. And she is gaslighting herself
and her sister.
and her
everyone.
sister and everyone around her to help release this criminal. Okay, so the next bad. And this honestly is probably second to obviously the plot, not the lack of plot, is probably our biggest complaint of this movie. And it is the way this movie is shot. Okay, the entire time it's shot like canted angles.
Yes, which we just learned that term. At
We
least
just
I
learned that
did
term.
from my brother-in-law Maddie's husband, who's a videographer. A canted angle. It's quite literally shot
At an angle.
It feels like you use this type of angle for very specific uses. Maybe to feel a little more on edge, I would imagine.
Yes.
To feel like maybe a thriller horror, maybe suspenseful.
Maybe to communicate lack of trust.
Yes. None of these things.
None of these things are true of this movie.
We don't need it when I tell you it's the entire time.
Every single shot is like this.
Family dinners in Atlantis.
Yes.
Okay? Partying in Atlantis, canted angle. Walking down the hallways.
Canted angle. Okay, so that's one thing. The second thing is horrendous color grading. Okay, it jumps around from like bright and orange to
blue Twilight.
Yeah, blue, feeling very, again, kind of like suspenseful, like
Yes.
almost like maybe like a crime show or something.
Yes. To black and white.
To black and white. The amount of black and white in this movie, okay? And then on top of that, not only the black and white, but then they also have what's giving like camcorder home video.
Yes. It straight up looks like it's just camcorder shots. And which, okay, to be fair with that, the only thing I was like, oh, maybe they're trying to capture like you're on family vacation, you have your camcorder out. But they kept like, I don't know.
The shots they were
shots
choosing to do that was weird. Like it wasn't like
during dialogue.
Yeah.
It would happen during dialogue. You would switch to like a camcorder and you're like, she's literally delivering a line right now. Like what an odd time to change into that.
Yes. Or it would be like one that stuck out to me was when Alex and Jordan were like feeding the fishies and stuff. And like it made sense that like, oh, like someone could be there with a camcorder. But they also had already established that it was just the two of them. It wasn't like her parents were there or her sister was there, like, you know, capturing the moment.
Yes.
It was like already established that they were out doing this alone.
Yeah. And then it didn't fit.
And then they literally waved at the camera. They waved at the camera.
There was also so much slow-mo, which we also learned from Ted that that's intentional. Like the day of, like you can't do that in post, like back in the day.
Back in the day. So like when they were writing this out and shot listing, they were like, this is going to be a slow-mo shot.
That is insane to me. There were so many of them at the most random moments. Okay, but all of this made more sense to me after a little bit of digging and research. Okay, so the director, Steve Purcell, who did a lot of Mary-Kate and Ashley movies, I saw shot mostly music videos and seemed. And right before directing Holiday in the Sun, he did an Alanis Morissette Jagged Little Pill live video, movie, whatever. When you watch it, watch the first minute.
I need to watch it.
It is shot exactly like Holiday in the Sun. Maddie, it switches to black and white. It switches to slow-mo. It switches to it has canted angles.
Which
it switches
works
to camcorder.
for a music video.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's like
but you sniped that though, because when we were watching it, you were like, "Did the director make music videos before this?"
In
like
the 90s,
yes.
literally, I was
Yes.
like, this feels like a 90s music video, but it's not working for what should be like a happy, like fresh face, very clean, like Mary-Kate and Ashley movie.
It just was not the right vibes at all.
And it was like they just did that project or something, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, like I just have this all in my editing bay, like all the settings." I don't know. He was like, "I'm copy paste. Let me just throw this in
and
here."
He goes, and some of these, and some of these.
You after this, you have to watch.
All right, everyone's homework.
Okay, just go watch the first literally like 30 seconds on YouTube. It's exactly like Holiday in the Sun.
I'm so
It's
scared.
exactly the same. They just
It's horrible.
copy pasted.
Like it works for the music video. So sorry. Did not work for the movie.
Yeah, it was like a live performance, like mini doc /
But to
whatever.
be fair, maybe it did keep us interested in the movie because it had no plot. we were just shocked every time it switched to a new scene and it was like a completely different.
Truly, because I'm gonna add the same with the bad. The last 10 minutes, we did fall asleep, and we were watching it in the middle of the day.
We watched it in the middle of it, like at 1 p.m.
Yeah,
And the movie's only like an hour and 30 minutes.
and we just
And we
didn't make
just
it.
couldn't do it the last 10 minutes. Like we tried so hard.
The nostalgia could only take us so far, and that is truly, this is in the bad. It's disappointing when you go back and rewatch something, and it's not as good as you once believed it was, and it
Yeah,
should have
it
just been
kinda
left in
ruins
the
it.
memories.
Yeah, and we won't save this for the end because it's very obvious how I feel about this movie. But this one is definitely one that was better in the nostalgia, in the memory
Yes.
of it, rather than you have to rewatch it.
Maybe we'll rewatch
Aquamarine?
clips, but yeah.
Aquamarine, 10 out of 10. I would say that one you could rewatch, and it holds up.
Honestly, the majority of our movie rewatches that we've done here so far
Freaky Friday was great.
have been fantastic.
This one
yes.
was the first like truly disappointing one.
honestly where I was like, which again, it's a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. We were going in not
With low expectations.
Yes, we're not. When we say all this, we're not going in like we're
Expecting
writing
peak
like
cinema.
a Rotten Tomatoes review or something. I don't even know. That's peak cinema.
I was expecting the highest of quality from my Mary-Kate and Ashley produced dual star production companies.
But some of them they really do hold up. And this was just not one of them for me.
Sorry about it. Now, we had this under the bad, but also it kind of was the good because it was hilarious. So at first, the four of them get arrested. So it's Alex, Madison, Jordan, and Griffin. Okay, they all get arrested because they all get caught
Yeah,
red-handed.
Scott's out of the picture at this point.
Oh yeah, Scott's gone. Sorry. I know, shocking, right?
The astronomer.
And so they all get put in jail. And then eventually their parents come and get them, but Jordan is left in jail because he was the one caught red-handed. And as the three of them are trying to set Jordan free and prove him innocent, they keep cutting to shots of Jordan like brooding in jail.
In black and white, by the way.
Black and white. And it's just like showing him like sitting there, just like thinking about all this happened and what he's done, looking out the window and like
It was too much. It was too much.
the brooding. It was so funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Is that the bad or the good?
I feel like
it
that
was
may have been the good.
hilarious.
It was really funny. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, but it was hilarious.
Speaking of just like weird random shots that were also shot in black and white, when they were on this wild goose chase to hunt down the guy that they thought set up Jordan, who they never caught, by the way, like officially. Like he just got away, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Until
they
they
chased after him.
Found,
Yeah, because they arrested some random dude, remember? There was
Yeah.
some random guy that they were bringing to jail whenever they released Jordan. And I was like, I thought this was like,
yeah, and I was like, is this related? Or
is this just some random
guy?
dude? They're
Maybe,
just showing another arrest.
maybe he got
They're like the Bahamas. We're safe. We get the criminals off the street.
maybe this criminal was like one too many Mai Tai as a tourist. and
He
he
did
was
look like a tourist.
public urination or something. Public intoxication. Oh my gosh. No, but literally they were like running and you see them and it's like this high action scene and they're running and they're like, get the guy. And it would cut to like a black and white shot, an image of like a local child just like staring into the distance. And you're like, what? What is happening? What emotions are you trying to convey?
It cut like 4 or 5 different times and showed just different shots
It
of
felt
like
stock images.
it was stock
of children.
images for sure. It was stock footage, 100%.
Half this movie was stock footage because we didn't even talk about like when they're making their way to the Bahamas.
Oh yeah,
and
all
it's like,
stock footage.
It's all stock footage of the Bahamas, and then they're there. Like,
and how do we know? Because it's the only thing that's shot not canted.
Seriously, and color graded decently.
And color graded correctly.
I can't. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
I wrote down this last one, but I need to know if you agree with me or not.
Okay.
I was chill with Griffin until the very, like, basically, like, one of the last scenes him and Madison have together. She's like, well, like, how did you know so much about me? Like, to tell, like, Scott, like, all these things. He's like, well, you know, like, we've known each other a long time. She's like, yeah, but, like, I don't really know that much about you. And he goes, and his response to that is, well, everybody's got a hobby, right? You're mine.
He goes, I guess you're mine.
I don't know. I said, help, I'm scared.
Oh, really?
Do you think it's charming?
I think given the context that she's into him.
Okay.
Because I feel like, I mean, your husband would never say this, but I feel like when you and your husband first started dating, like, he was, like, very, like...
I was his hobby.
It was giving that interest. No, I'm being serious. Like, I just feel like that's sometimes people's personality.
I guess so.
You know what I mean?
To go all in.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like, it was giving all in.
Okay.
And, like, I didn't feel like it was creepy. Well, I feel like it'd be creepy if she wasn't into him.
Okay.
But she'd already, like, I feel like because they had, like, grown up together, it seemed like she just met. To me, it was giving she was just never into him, so she just never paid attention to him. But he was always had a crush on her, so of course he's going to know more about her.
New perspective. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't giving creepy to me.
Okay.
But maybe because they're kids, too.
Yeah, that's true.
If they were adults, but they're like kids.
That's true. I don't
know. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe I'm wrong. Let us know who's right.
Maybe that should have been in the fuzzy since we can't really figure out where that lands. The last cat. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, literally, I'm pretty sure I said that when we were watching that. I think I said it reminded me of your husband.
Oh, really? I fell asleep close to around that part. I'm not going to lie. That's when the honk shoo started happening. All right. So we've had the good. We've had the bad. The last category is the fuzzy. This is kind of, we don't really know where this lands, if it's good or bad, but we just want to discuss it because,
Question mark?
Question mark, question mark, question mark. So my first question mark for the fuzzy is they went from literally no plot. Like nothing's going on. The girls are enjoying their vacation. Yeah, they're dating these boys, whatever, for their winter break. Then all of a sudden they're literally in jail for stealing local antiquities. Like the stakes just go from 0 to 100
to 1,000
so quickly.
Yeah.
Huh? We couldn't have like hinted at this a little more besides the slight, we saw Jordan like passing off packages.
Yes, but Megan, you're forgetting they did establish how important the antiquities were to the Bahamas because when the girls go do their shopping montage with their mother, she buys a replica and she goes, hey girls, look at this replica of this antiquity. Isn't this cool? Yeah, they only sell replicas because they have to make sure they preserve the antiquities of the Bahamas. So, they did do a good job of establishing how important this was.
Oh my gosh.
30 minutes into the film.
Oh my gosh, you mentioned the shopping montage too. And I didn't write this down, but this also goes into like the fuzzy. But it shows them trying on like a bunch of different clothes.
This is more of a fuzzed up.
And hats. And they put a hat on where they're like Rastafarian. They like have like dreads.
They have dreads, yeah. And we just were like,
I was like, and they lingered
on that for
a while.
Way too long.
I was
way too long. And we were like,
this is what you're taking the Platinum Amex for? Oh yeah, the mom brought out her Platinum Amex, by the way, for shopping. She just whooped it out close up on that
for
thing
her.
at the canted angle.
At the canted angle. It's also an ad for Amex.
Seriously. It was like a full Amex card.
Okay, another fuzzy thing for me is I still do not understand what Madison was even doing with Scott to begin with, because the whole time she's just like depressed about him.
Yeah.
And she's like, I just don't know. Like, he seems like he's acting really weird lately. And I'm like, you just met him. Why are you like pouting on the couch about this man?
Just don't date him.
You just don't even know.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, you don't have anything in common. And she's like, he's just been acting really weird lately. And I'm like,
bruh, the only reason she was pursuing him is because she thought he was cute.
Literally.
And I was like, what's happening? What's happening?
So depressing.
You don't have to keep going on dates with this guy.
Like, you literally don't have to see him ever again.
Yeah. I mean, maybe around the resort, but it's not like you have beef or anything. Just move on.
Just move on. Why are we making this the drama? I'm so confused about that.
That's why.
I'm so confused about that.
They had to make something the drama in this movie. Another fuzzy thought was the music would randomly get super intense and give like Law and Order SUV randomly.
Yes.
And one of the parts where it happened was the kids stayed out the night before past their curfew, and the parents were like really frustrated by that. They were like, we told you 11, it's 12:15. And then they're like, whatever, girls, bye. The next morning, the girls wake up. The music is super intense, and they find a note from their parents that's like very vague, and it's giving like the parents were kidnapped. And the dad, as we know, is a CEO, okay?
Yeah, so we're like, Mans was kidnapped.
And then
for ransom money.
Griffin comes in, who they're on the family vacation with, and he's like, hey, my parents have a note in here too.
The same exact note.
And the music is so intense. And me and Maddie are like, was there a kidnapping in this movie? Yeah, literally. And literally, it cuts to the parents on a banana boat. They're fine.
They're totally fine.
And they just like have this attitude the rest of the movie. They're like, yeah, whatever. You kids are going to do whatever you want. We're going to do whatever we want then.
Okay, I need you to be so for real with me right now. What did you call Law and Order?
Law and Order SUV? Is that SVU? SUV.
You were on a roll, so I didn't want to interrupt you, but
SUV.
No,
I'm just laughing at that.
Oh, I was like, no, you're still saying.
No, obviously, I'm just laughing. There's just SUVs everywhere. They're on my mind, and I hate them. They're so big.
Oh, wow.
SVUs. Please.
Special Victims Unit.
Yeah.
No, I always get it mixed up, too. I literally Googled
You know what else I mix up?
What?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Ruth Ginsburg Bader?
Yeah, and then RGB and RGB. Like red, green, blue, like lights. I mix
RGB
up the lights. Yeah.
And RBG.
Yeah.
Is the Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
RBG, RGB.
I mix those two up, too.
It's too much to remember.
Too many letters.
Too many letters. We're just dumb girls. You know what it also reminded me of whenever the parents left the note? It was giving Jimmy Neutron movie when every kid gets the same note.
Yes, from the aliens.
Yeah.
That's probably why kidnapping was on our mind.
Lives rent free in my head when, like, what's his name? Sheen or Sean or something?
I think it's Sheen.
And he goes, maybe they went on to get juice or something. They all went out to get juice or something.
He was like my dad. He's coming back.
Because I think he was like, we're going to Florida or something.
Like all the parents go to Florida. You know what? We have to do a fuzzy rewatch of the Jimmy Neutron movie. Because I sometimes forget the movie came before the show.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Another fuzzy thought, Jordan has a song in the movie that he sings to Alex. He serenades her. And the song is called Shades of Love. But Ben Easter, the actor, doesn't actually like sing or perform it. He's just like lip syncing to like the band song.
The actual song. They just hit play on the track and he's lip syncing. Yeah. Love that. They couldn't even like hire someone else to like sing for him.
Well, they got like other bands and why not just have the band perform and him dance with Alex?
Yeah, why have him perform?
Yeah, hopefully I'm saying this correctly. This is why I put it in fuzzy, is because it's also kind of unclear, but it seems like it's not him singing or playing guitar.
No, I don't think it's him singing.
Yeah.
They literally just went on,
press play, like you said, lip sync.
Yeah, what was the music available? How'd you buy music back in the day? Apple? Was Apple thing then?
Oh, you were saying how did they play it? They went to Apple, downloaded the song, and pressed play. I guess so. iTunes.
And then lastly, and this is probably the fuzziest thought of all, is we have the ending scene. They get Jordan out of jail. The whole fam's there. Griffin's family's there. Madison and Alex's parents are there. And they just go, this was a great family vacation. I can't wait for the next one. And then one of the twins goes, actually, we changed that line. And it cuts to them just like BTS breaking the fourth wall.
Not just
all of a
breaking
sudden,
the fourth wall, like smashing it.
smashing
like,
through it like the Kool-Aid man.
Man.
And they literally are like, oh, can I get the script? And like reading over the script, and they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then they like cut back to it, and she's like, next year's is gonna be great too. And then it's like, all right, like that's a wrap. Like, great job, everyone. Like, and it just cuts to like, you see like the director and like all like the crew, and they're all like, great job, guys. Oh, that was so fun. And it's just like all this random like BTS.
Yeah. But it's like scripted BTS.
Yeah, but it's so scripted. And you're just like,
what's happening?
What? Like literally still Canton angles.
Then you see the girls as themselves, Mary-Kate and Ashley, discussing like where their next movie's gonna be, and
yeah,
they're like,
and then they're in like a completely different scene. It's like it looks like an Indiana Jones's like house because they have like I don't know. It's just giving weird energy.
And they like consult the map, and they're like, throw a dart, and then the dart, wherever the dart lands, is where their next movie's gonna be.
Yeah, but they're like, we've done Sydney, we've done London.
No, literally. They're like, okay, where can we go next? We've basically traveled the entire world. What was that episode of Rick and Morty? It was like interdimensional cable.
Yeah,
There is one of the commercials where this guy's like selling doors or something, and he's like, yeah, I got doors here, the doors, I'm the door. Then he like gets in his car and starts driving, and it's like still like
following him.
It's still following him, and Morty's like, oh, is this like the commercial still? And he's like, I don't know. It looks like he's just at home. Now he's making a sandwich. And this guy's like going on with his day, and they're like still watching it. And then all of a sudden he goes back to he passes a door, and he opens it, and he's like, by the way, we're still having a big sale, like selling the doors. Like, that's what it felt like. It was like the same energy. We're like out of nowhere. It was like, boom, we're like in normal life. Like,
but we're still supposed to be in it. It was so weird and trippy.
And like, we're not expecting Deadpool from our Mary-Kate and Ashley movies. Like, we don't need
this weird, like, we're gonna be funny and show you the behind the scenes that's not really the behind the scenes.
I'll tell you what though. If anything, they were experimental in this movie.
That is very true. That they were not afraid to try things.
No, they put Mary-Kate and Ashley in jail for crying out loud.
They really did. They really did that.
Crying out loud? Who says that?
That is so funny.
Do you use that expression?
For crying out loud?
Sometimes I find myself using expressions that I like never use, but they come out during the Fuzzy Pod recordings.
It's your persona, your fuzzy persona.
My fuzzy persona. For crying out loud.
My lovely, lovely husband, Ted, likes to make up his own phrases.
He like, okay, you know what? Go off.
Yeah, because he always says things wrong. You know that. Like, he always says phrases wrong.
Oh, I thought it was like Gretchen Wiener is like trying to make fetch happen kind
of
vibe.
100% is also that, because he likes to gaslight me when he says things wrong. To be like, no, this is like a phrase. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And one that he does, irregardless. And one that he does that just really pet peeve. He says it all the time now. Is he goes like, oh, like let's say he picks up Loki and Loki's sleeping and Loki kind of like flops. He'd be like, oh yeah, he's just flopping like a grape or flopping like a blueberry. Wait, what do you say? Tossing around like a blueberry.
I'm like, grapes aren't floppy. They're pretty firm. Oh, I can toss them around like a grape is the phrase.
It's a blueberry. Okay,
blueberry.
Okay. The phrase is, he was just tossing around like a blueberry.
When do blueberries toss? I guess when you're washing them.
It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I could toss them around like a blueberry.
I can toss them around like a blueberry. So like if Loki's floppy, you know, just moving him around.
I get it because you're like, oh, he's light, but like no
one says that.
But here's the thing.
He acts like someone says, like that's something people say.
To his credit, at some point somebody said a strange phrase and it became like a commonly used idiom. So who's to say?
He's really out here thinking he's going to be the next creator of the best phrases. And you know what? I just hope that Mary-Kate and Ashley will come back to make another film so they can break down one of Ted's phrases that he made up.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I have to just bring up something really fast. It has nothing to do with Mary-Kate and Ashley, but has everything to do with phrases. I've been watching through Sex and the City for the first time ever this last year, and I just reached an episode in season 6 called The Ick.
Yes.
Did they invent that?
I don't know, because I watched that episode recently too, and I was like,
This is like 20 years old.
It is, yeah. That's wild.
I was like, people trying to act like the ick is new. The ick has been ickin'.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was all.
Anyways, so it is my ick that my husband makes up phrases and also gaslights me. The worst one was when I tried to say we don't live a very sedentary life, and he said, you're right, we don't live a very sedimentary life. And I said, I think you're trying to say sedentary. And he goes, no, sedimentary. And I was like, no, that means like rocks. And he goes, yeah, exactly, like rocks. And I was like, that's wrong. And you're just trying to gaslight me because you realize that you're wrong.
He's like, yeah, he's like rocks are still.
He's like, but rocks are still. So it makes sense. Like, this is what we should be saying. Like, sedimentary makes sense. And I was like, it doesn't. Stop gaslighting
me. They are still. Okay. I'm on your side. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm on your side.
You're on my side for this one.
I'm on your
side. Jeez Louise. I can't be gaslit from many people. Just one person's enough. But anyways.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of The Fuzzy Pod. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to check out other episodes, subscribe, and leave us a rating and review.
And leave us a comment. If you have a favorite Mary-Kate and Ashley movie, we love to hear from you. We got to give one another chance.
We have to. I know they're good.
Let us know. And also, we recently launched our Patreon. So if you're interested for some additional content, head on over to our Patreon. And we'd love to have you join that community over there.
Yes, join the Fuzzy fam. We will see y'all next Friday. Bye.
Bye.